Hey, guess what? It's another rainy day in my part of the world here in the southeast, and boy, it's really coming down today. It's after 4 o'clock. It's almost dark here, though. And I was thinking about the rain. We often talk about how good it is to get rain, and rain is good. But then I was talking with Nicole, and I said, though, if you're going to get rain, it'd be nice if it could just rain for one day, and then be sunny for 5 or 6 days, and then maybe rain again 5 or 6 days, because I started thinking about all the people impacted by rainy weather. I was looking at all these home development areas here. Of course, they are shut down now because the construction workers, if they're doing framing, things like that, and there's no roof, they can't work. Then I saw a couple of car washes, and of course they were closed out. I thought, well, those people don't get to work. And then I thought about, what about if you run like a nursery, a plant nursery that has a huge outdoor area, where people go and pick out trees and plants and stuff? Well, you can't work. So rain affects the local economy long term, I'm sure. But then there are places too that, they work around all that rain. We lived in the Pacific Northwest for several years. Of course, there, rain is just a part of the everyday routine. I can remember they would laugh at you in Oregon if you had an umbrella. But I had one. And I didn't care if they laughed at me. It came in very handy many times. But I digress. You probably came to this video because you wanted to find out about, should you buy a new car? And this isn't really a question for you, and you. It's more of a question for me. Here's the deal. I'm sitting inside our 2005 Highlander. You're thinking, 2005? That thing's like 20 years old. I know. It's 20 years old. And the thing still runs like a top. It still looks really good too, inside and outside. But it's got over 250,000 miles on it, getting close to 300,000 miles. And so I thought, well, Nicole, we were talking, it's like, I don't know, is it time maybe? And when I say get a new car, I don't mean a brand new car. I haven't bought a brand new car from the dealership, off the showroom floor, as they used to say, it's been over 15 years since I did that. Always tried to find good, reliable, late model used cars. And this Highlander, in fact, even though it's an 05, we didn't buy it till 08. So we've been the owners for 17 years now. But it has been fantastic. But I'm getting ready for another cycle of routine maintenance. And that's why we keep it running like we do. Now, on the checklist of maintenance that I'd like to have done, brakes, front and back. And yeah, that includes the rotors. Those of you who are into mechanical stuff know what I'm talking about there. I'm thinking we need to do the timing belt, and that includes other belts, hoses, and the I can't remember now. I'm blanking out. Not the radiator. Somebody comment in the comment section. You know what I'm talking about? It has to do with the water pump. That's it, the water pump. And I also have had them quoting a valve cover replacement, because they keep telling me there's a tiny leak, it's nothing out of control, whatever. So they would do both of those. And then spark plugs, about time to do spark plugs again. And then just check over all the other belts and hoses. And most all the estimates for all that work are coming in, well over $2,500, up closer to about $3,000. But then I figure, well, everything's done then. Once again, I didn't include a new set of tires, which we're probably going to need those in about another $5,000. So that's going to be another $600-700. It might fluctuate a little. So we're talking about, to get the 05 Highlander back into almost new car condition, which you always know there could be something that could go. But all that said and done, about $3,500 in the vehicle. And I look at that and I go, wow, that's a lot of money to put into a used vehicle with over 250,000 miles. But here's the dilemma I have. This car has never left us stranded. And right now, there's nothing wrong. I'm just doing all of this as preventative maintenance. I may well could go another 10,000-15,000 miles without doing a lot of these things, with the exception of the tires. But I'm thinking I just want to get it done because I've looked at the mileage. I looked at when all this service was last done. And I'm inclined to think, let's do it now. Let's be proactive so that we don't ever have one of those days where we're stranded on the side of the road. Well, and then we start looking at later model cars. Not brand new, but later model cars. And I look at some of the functions on them. They've got the cameras for backing up and parking. They've got where you can connect your cell phone through Bluetooth, things like that. They've got a lot of nice features to them. But they come at a higher price. So here's where I start kind of trying to figure out, okay, do I spend $2,500 to $3,500 on this '05 Highlander, keep it running good for another 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Or do I keep it? We would probably keep it as a second car. Maybe not do anything but just tires until it absolutely needs something. Just be an in-town kind of car. Probably Nicole would end up driving it more. And then we buy, say, a late model, newer car for our longer trips and things like that. Well, to do that, I've been looking at different vehicles that we would like. A lot of them are still going to be in the Toyota family, but I've found some others that I like too. No electric, no hybrid. And we're still going to spend between, if you have low mileage, when I say low mileage, less than 50,000 miles, probably on the low end $20,000, the high end $27,000, $28,000. And I kind of go, whew, I feel a little hard to breathe even at that amount, because it's just been so long since I've spent that much on a vehicle. And then I look at it and go, well, okay, but that one could be good for another 10, 15 years. Probably could last beyond my years on this earth. And of course, since Nicole's younger, it'll leave her that car, and the Highlander by then will be long gone and dead. And then we think, okay, what if we just buy a brand new car? And I'm like, no, not going to do that. Not going to do that. That's off the table. We all know you buy a brand new car, the minute you drive it off the lot, the value does that, falls off the cliff. So it's a tough decision. And I guess what I'm asking is, some of you can make comments in the comment section. I'd love to hear about you folks who kept driving your older vehicles that you've well maintained and have just said, no, I'm not going to do it. Despite the temptations of a newer vehicle. And they do make it really easy to buy the newer vehicles now. I mean, basically, you do your research online. You can pick out the car online, the features you're looking for, the mileage you're looking for. If you need to finance it, you finance it, and you get it, and you go. And then that's another thing on the finance side. Thinking we might have to finance a little bit of it, but then again, that breaks all the rules with Dave Ramsey, who we've been Dave Ramsey disciples. But, it's a large amount of money to just put out there all at one time. And I know, but you don't want a car payment. And I read the other day, the average car payment in this country now for people, I know you hear these stories of $1,000, but I think it was like $549 to $725, which is still outrageous. Back in the days when we did have car payments, I think the highest one we ever had might have been $300, and that was a pretty short-term note. That's why it was that low. And I've done the math on some of these later model, newer cars. With the amount down payment that I'd like to put on one, we'd probably be $250, $260 a month if we didn't just pay it all up front. And I guess that's the thing too. It makes me a little uneasy thinking about spending all cash $20,000, $25,000 on a car that goes down in value. I don't know. I know. Dave Ramsey disciples, you're out of your mind. You don't do that. Okay, so slap me. Not going to do it. I don't think. No. Plus, my children they would go ballistic if I did something like that too. Dad, what do you mean? You can't finance a car. Well, we just won't tell them if I did it. And I won't tell you either. I'll have to tell Nicole. Nicole will have to tell me. Anyway. So that's the thing that we're kind of wrestling with right now. Figure it out with this car. And you know what could end up happening? We may do absolutely nothing, because the good news is this is running just fine as of today. I can still put off this preventative maintenance for a while longer. And that just means we always save a little more money. So I don't know. I was just interested in hearing what some of your thoughts are on buying cars. Don't you? I wish, sometimes I wish I lived in one of those communities where it's walkability, like right in a downtown area where you got your shops, your stores, your everything, and you don't necessarily need a car. That would be where the '05 Highlander would make sense long term, because then it would just sit there all the time unless we're making a trip or we need to go somewhere outside that core of businesses. But of course, our country is so spread out now. Communities are so spread out. But we are seeing more of these planned communities with the newish kind of downtowns they build. But I digress. Anyway, I don't know if I told you anything that you didn't already know there. Like I said, it's more about, let's generate a little conversation in the comments section. You guys and girls out there, talk amongst yourselves, and then we'll go through and see what you think, and then we'll still make our own decision. I don't know when that's going to be, though. But I'm all out of time now. I'm going to go. I'm here at the gym because it's raining. Yeah, I'm going to go trying to run 3 miles around that track, round and round and round. I'll be glad when the weather's good again because I get really bored going round and round and round, if you know what I mean. So have a great day. Better yet, a better tomorrow. Keep subscribing. Thumbs up. You know all the good stuff. You know the drill. Bye now.